And hello, my lovelies. I am redoing my Ren Patience because no one could hear a damn word I was saying. So, I'm back on Ren because his music just talks to me. And there are some songs where he just kind of reaches into your chest and pulls out all of the unpleasant bits that you're not quite so proud of and makes you look at them and examine your own self-perceptions and your foibles and all the things you complain about. And all those things that make you annoyed and make you cross and make your life miserable. And when he makes you think about those and you realise how petty or insignificant they might be, it does make you feel a little bit ashamed of yourself. And I'm trying to fix that in me. So, Ren and Patience is coming up. And boy, I wish I could improve mine, because I have none. So, we're here with Ren and Patience, and I've chosen this particular one because next to the studio version, I think this one is a lot more raw and emotive, and I get a lot more emotion and feeling and grit from it. It says a lot more to me than the studio version. That's fine. Other people can find it the other way around. But this one talks to me, and I love it. So, I am going to let our lovely Ren talk to us for a bit, or sing to us. Because right now, in that particular picture, and at that particular time in his life, he had a vulnerability and an openness that you rarely see from anyone. And I just want to give him a hug. So, we are going to be very patient with our dear Ren. And I will stop and talk about what it says to me as we go through. Because there are certain aspects of this where I don't even think it's deliberate, but it kind of catches me right in my heartstrings. So, we'll get on with it.
It's alright, it's okay. I'm feeling brave, gonna face this day. It's okay, it's alright. No tears will kiss my cheeks tonight, and it's all good, and I'm just fine. My words ring out like hollow shells. Just slow down, it takes time, but time moves slow, I know this well. And my heart breaks 1,000 times a day. But for every hope that dies, another one takes its place. Because I have the strength of a mountain, and I've got the courage of the deep blue sea, and I have the heart of a lion, and the stars burn bright inside of me. And although you test me, my God, I stand so proudly. Can't you see that I have the strength of a mountain, and I'll take all you throw at me.
Okay, so that first verse, and in subsequent videos, the later ones, perhaps from like a few years ago, we've already discovered that he is an absolute master at finding like acoustic environments that say more or enhance his words or his music. I mean, just one example is Jenny and Screech. More specifically, Violet's Tale. I will never be able to get out of my head that call up into the darkness of the stairwell. where he said she never stood a chance, because I find that haunting, and it is the use of the acoustics. Now, here, I don't think it's deliberate, but those first few lines, it's okay, it's alright. I'm going to face this day. I'm not going to let tears fall down my cheeks. I am not going to let this day beat me. But his voice and even the sound of his guitar sound thin. And I don't mean like reedy or out of tune or anything like that. Just quite fragile. As if anyone speaks too loudly, or if there's a shuffling or anything, that the words and the meaning would break and he would break with it. And I know that's just how I feel about it, because it sounds so fragile and delicate, as if he's just holding on. And then when he gets to the end of that verse and takes it into, like, I've got the strength of a mountain. And it's just like, okay, that's fine. Excuse me. That is awesome. You might have been fragile at the start, and you might be dealing with physical, mental, emotional issues that you just cannot get past. But you've got something deep inside of you that is fueling your desire to live, your urge to go on. And I find that inspiring, but I also find it shaming. And I know it's not meant to be. But he's got this well of strength, this core of unimaginable belief and fortitude that I just find miraculous and inspiring. But it also makes me examine the things that I can't tolerate, or the things that I find push me over the edge, and it all seems so incredibly petty. And I know that's not his intention. He's actually talking about how to be inspiring for other people, and I get that as well. But I also feel so very ashamed of myself. So, continue on.
This world is quite scary, I know that 'cause I've been here for some time. But all that prepares me for a day when I can truly shine. 'Cause I've been so broken, and picking up fragments of myself, I'll glue them back together so I can stand at the edge of this world and yell that my heart breaks 1,000 times a day. For every hope that dies, another one takes its place.
The world is a scary place, and if we let it, we will live our lives in fear. And it doesn't seem to matter how much the world could throw at us. We are so much more resilient than any of us give ourselves credit for. Not just Ren, although he is particularly resilient. But we all can take a lot more than we think we can. That's not to say that we should have to. I'm not saying that life has to be hard for it to be fulfilling and wonderful. That's not the point. But it can be. And in this song, he's saying it is preparing him for the time when he can really shine. He can let those stars inside of him blast out of him and just shower us all with his awesome energy. Because that's what we're feeling, isn't it? We are getting so much from Rent and his music. And it's amazing how it has empowered us, helped heal us, made us feel stronger, made us feel not so bad about not feeling great all the time. And that's what he's doing. He is truly shining. And he is seriously channeling some serious supernovas. And even though he acknowledges that his heart breaks 1,000 times a day because he can't do, especially at this point, he cannot do what he wants to do. He cannot shine as brightly as he would like. But every time one of those dreams dies, he replaces it with another one to keep himself going. And that is truly awesome.
Because I have the strength of a mountain, and I've got the courage of the deep blue sea, and I have the heart of a lion, and the stars burn bright inside of me. And although you test me, my God, I stand so proudly. Can't you see that I have the strength of a mountain, and I'll take all you throw at me.
At the end of the last verse, I missed it because I just wanted to go back to the song. Picking up fragments of himself and sticking himself back together so that it can stand at the edge of the world and yell to everybody that he is still here. He is still ready to stand against everything that is thrown at him. That's some damn strong superglue. That's all I can say. And I'll take all you can throw at me. I love that. Because how many of us can say that we are that strong, that we can stand there and we will take everything? Because to not take it means failing, or means not being able to shine your own personal light into the world. And let's be fair, he's got plenty of light. Unfortunately, it seems to have come from a very dark place. I still want to give him a hug, but it might affect his guitar playing. And we don't want that. So it's beautiful, and he's still making me feel ashamed.
I'll dust the cobwebs off this sheath, and I'll take the sword of my belief, and in this storm I will not flinch, and I will not move, no, not an inch. Because I have the strength of a mountain, I've got the courage of the deep blue sea, and I'll have the heart of a lion, and the stars they burn bright inside of me. But although you test me, my God, I stand so proudly. Can't you see I have the strength of a mountain, and I'll take all you throw at me.
Now, I don't know how anyone else feels about this, but I saw pictures with that last bit. I'll dust the cobwebs off this sheath. And I see him wrapping himself up in like a Roman toga style and standing on a cliff in the middle of a storm and holding this great big sword out to the storm and it cutting straight through it. Now, I wish I could draw that because it would be an awesome picture. Unfortunately, I can't draw crap. It takes me a lot to draw something even remotely recognisable. But I so want that because it is such a very vivid and inspiring way to look at how we can face our problems in life. Whether they are physical, mental, emotional, just the hardships of life that get thrown at us. Any of it. But you take the sword of your, and I'm assuming it's self-belief. Belief in himself. And using it to cut through the storm that is raging against him and around him so that he doesn't have to move. And I love that. And I don't know about anyone else, but I see some very similar themes. Reflected a little bit in Slaughterhouse. I know, I might just be making stuff up that isn't there. But things like the polythene sheath that he ends up inside of, and the sword of Damocles, and they just seem to reflect. And I don't know if that's because I watched them quite close together, or I'm making shit up that isn't there. I don't know. But I see it. And as I am the observer, that's what I've seen. Okay. Doesn't seem to matter what anyone else thinks. That's what I think. And I'm probably completely wrong. Completely and utterly wrong. It's just something that I noticed. But the other thing is, that last chorus, you see this little smile play around his mouth as if to say, I'm doing it. This is what I'm doing now. And not once through the entire song does he mention the word patience. He talks about the strength of the mountain and the courage of the deep blue sea and the light of the stars inside of him and the heart of a lion. But he never talks about patience. However, throughout a lot of literature, you also hear about the patience of the mountain. I think there is, I can't remember the entire story, I think it's a parable of some sort, about the bird that wipes its beak on the mountain to wear it away. And the mountain just sits there and waits for the bird to do it. And the bird flies from one end of the world to the other, wipes his beak on there and flies back. That's the definition of patience. And I love it. Like I said, this song just makes me examine myself a bit. And makes me think about what I let get to me and what I let overwhelm me. And in the grand scheme of things, it is kind of petty and insignificant. And I have very little patience with myself more than anyone. So this is my goal. I will be more patient. And less petty. So, there's my take. See you again soon.